Well, Tiffany, that woman didn't work in your typical assisted living facility. Instead, she worked in this ranch-style house that sits in this quiet neighborhood. They're also keeping an eye on this vegetation that has been smoldering and could rekindle if the weather stays dry and the winds pick up. Florida City was the largest of Operation Pedro Pan's shelters. Approximately 3,000 teenage boys and girls were housed here between 1961 and 1965. Many of them were eventually relocated to foster homes throughout the United States. They're amazed that this 50-foot tree, which had withstood many hurricanes, was toppled by that storm. And as for the Bell family, well, they had just recently been talking to their landlord about removing the tree from their yard, and they say now that Mother Nature has taken care of it, that's no longer a worry. Indeed, Ileana, I'm happy to report that the Canes beat the Dolphins 65-51. Go Canes! Legendary coach Don Shula led the Dolphin players, and Howard Schnellenberger led the players of my alma mater, the University of Miami. It was a day that evoked many, many memories for many people, including myself. Saying goodbye to the Orange Bowl is making even grown men cry.
Oh, we love you, Obi. Oh.
About 10,000 fans cheered on their favorite former Dolphin and Hurricane players. The flag football game was part of the Orange Bowl's final farewell.
It's actually kind of bittersweet because when you have this kind of crowd here with these special group of players, both Dolphins and Canes alike, it's a festive environment, which is a little bit unusual given that this is the last game being played here.
This is home. I can't even imagine driving on 836 and looking over and seeing it not here. I can't even picture that.
The 70-year-old landmark was the former home of the Dolphins before Dolphin Stadium was built.
Old tradition, you're close to the field. It was never the same at Dolphin Stadium.
It's also been the home of the Miami Hurricanes and 5 national championships. Yours truly was a UM cheerleader when Miami won their first national championship in the Orange Bowl when Bernie Kosar was quarterback in 1983.
One of the things that kind of, I think, epitomizes the stadium and stuff here, it was so, if you remember that night, I've got a chance of playing some Super Bowls, Pro Bowls, AFC, NFC championship games, and that night, the noise and electricity was like second to none here.
Fans and players alike each have their reasons for wanting to hold on to the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got my whole life to get my name up on the Ring of Honor, and now we're knocking it down.
The fans and the crowd and the tailgating and being with friends and family.
In fact, some diehard fans made sure they went home with more than just memories. The exchange of emails between 2 Palm Beach County employees in April and earlier this month certainly revealed the financial concerns the county was having had the Casey Anthony jury selection taken place here. As speculation grew over where the Casey Anthony jury selection would be held, at least 2 Palm Beach County employees whose jobs involve coordinating special court cases knew exactly where they didn't want it to be. The women exchanged emails expressing their concerns on the case coming to Palm Beach County. Victor, Amanda Martin-Cavage is very pregnant, 9 months pregnant, and yesterday afternoon she stopped by at this Publix to pick up some groceries because she wanted to cook a dinner for herself and her husband. And she said the last thing she expected was that she would be pushed around by a pickup truck.
I was more shocked, I guess you could say, that someone was actually trying to run me over with their vehicle so that they could get away over a $25 bottle of wine. The expectant mother was in a Publix parking lot in Boynton Beach Tuesday afternoon when she witnessed an argument between a store manager and someone who police say was trying to shoplift a bottle of wine. Are you crazy? Are you really going to try and run over a pregnant woman? Stop, stop.
In 1960, the exodus of some 14,000 Cuban children was planned by the Catholic Church of Miami and the U.S. government with the consent of their parents. 5 decades later, aboard 3 buses, some of them sang camp songs as they were transported to tour the refugee camps that once housed them. At age 16, Juan Pujol knew then that he had to grow up quickly at Camp Metacumbe. It was upon us within seconds. Oh my God. My photographer Kevin Sinicki and I were in the midst of an interview when the sky suddenly turned black. Gusty winds pushed us around and cloud formations quickly hovered above us. Off in the distance, we heard sirens.
I hear tornado warnings.
We ran across the street to seek refuge in a rec center along with a parent who was trying to pick up her daughter from a nearby elementary school. Protesters and supporters of Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak clashed in the biggest spike of violence yet. Mubarak supporters met rioting demonstrators with whips and rocks. Now the celebration begins here in Bayfront Park starting at 8 p.m. with live musical entertainment throughout the evening and culminates with the raising of the big orange at midnight, followed by a display of fireworks over beautiful Biscayne Bay. What's not to like? She's a direct descendant of the emperor who founded Imperial Vietnam.
For each emperor, there will be a set of coins bearing his names.
Born in Saigon, Her Imperial Highness, Princess Tinia, proudly recalls her family heritage with reverence. Many people think of Vietnam and think of the war.
In America, it is true that Americans tend to think of Vietnam as the Vietnam War, which is unfortunate.
The princess also shares similar circumstances with Prince William, soon to marry Kate Middleton, a commoner new to the rigors of protocol, and whose life, she says, will change dramatically once she becomes a princess. Princess Tinia adds she wishes Prince William and his bride Kate all the happiness in the world. She says the traditional imperial wish would be to wish them 10,000 springs of happiness. 10,000 springs stands for eternity. Cristina Puig, WPBF 25 News.
¿Qué tal? Les saluda Cristina Puig. Cancela la Guardia Costera la búsqueda de 11 trabajadores desaparecidos tras la explosión y posterior incendio en una plataforma petrolera frente a la costa de Luisiana. Y cientos de personas salen a las calles de Taiwán junto a sus mascotas para protestar contra la crueldad animal. Más esta tarde. ¿Qué tal? Les saluda Cristina Puig. Después que varias tormentas congelaron el norte de la nación, ahora le toca al sur. Desde Texas hasta Luisiana se enfrentan a fuertes nevadas. Las bajas temperaturas se extenderían después a Florida, Alabama y Georgia.